Hello you guys, IMDEXSTAR here and welcome back to my channel. It's another beautiful day here at home. As you can see, the sun is shining. I'm here just basking a little bit of that sun. Not too much, just enough to have a bit of that vitamins that you get from the sun. But we're here today at home just chilling and relaxing, and of course today will be the day that I'll be showing you my meal plan, as they call it. This is actually as a meal plan that has been suggested by my fitness coach, me, to be able to achieve the goal that I want in my fitness journey. Apologies for the background noise, basically because just next to me is a construction site. They're doing another building on the side and I am near the streets. So it's gonna be a mix of different sounds, from the construction to the roads and all that stuff. But anyways, it is a beautiful sunny day right here, and I do hope that everybody, all of you guys, are keeping safe and staying healthy. And exercise, of course, will be one way to add to your daily routine to keep yourself healthy and moving and have all of your system up and running. All right. So as for today, it's already the morning. I will be showing you the breakfast that I'm currently will be having, and then later on today I will be bringing you to the kitchen to be with me as I prepare for my meal for the next coming week. For the next coming week. What am I supposed to say? For the next coming week, all right? So I'll be bringing you along to the kitchen later on to prepare for my meal plan for the week. And I guess I have been with this meal plan for a little more than a week now. It's a week and a half now that I've started with this meal plan. And I can really say that it is a plan. I mean, you really have to have someone who knows what they're doing, because this meal plan, from the very beginning, when I saw it on the message that my coach sent me, I was saying, okay, this is a little bit impossible to achieve. Like, all these things is a little bit different as to what I'm usually eating. But because the person who prepared my meal plan knows what he's doing, and he knows what a body needs, and as he has already assessed my body and the goals that I want, all that he has taken into consideration. And this meal plan is really, on the previous week and currently running week that I'm going into it, it's really a perfect combination of different things, and I can really say that this meal plan is really working for me. So if you guys wanted to go into having a proper meal plan and going into a fitness journey, I would recommend that you actually go into a fitness professional who really knows what they're doing, because at the end of the day, our goal is to be able to achieve that fitness goal. I mean, for me, I want to have a better physique and also be able to maintain a very good physique, because some others would actually go into the gym, go into this fitness journey, and then after like stopping, they won't be able to maintain it, and everything goes back to how it was before, which is what we want to avoid. So I would advise you to seek the advice of fitness experts and then go through with your fitness journey. Alrighty? So first things up, we will be starting with our breakfast, which is of course a very important part of our daily life. That is our energizing meal. So let us go into my breakfast, and then later on we will go into the kitchen for the rest of the meals of my day. Alrighty, so this is how breakfast is every day. Well, it is different in terms of the eggs that we are doing, because with this, I'm actually recommended to have eggs and oatmeal for breakfast. And then this is just an addition, but this is with the permission of my fitness coach. This is coffee. I usually take coffee. I cannot not have coffee. But this is black, as I usually take it. So with the eggs, I usually do it like an omelet style with no oil, or I would do it as boiled eggs. Now with eggs, I don't consume whole eggs all the time. It's always 2 whole eggs and 3 egg whites. So even with an omelet, it's 2 whole eggs and 3 egg whites. And if I do hard-boiled eggs, I would do 2 whole eggs and just 3 egg whites. Alrighty, so this is breakfast, and I would usually have a oatmeal, but I've already consumed it because I was a bit hungry already. Well, let's enjoy our breakfast. Bon appetit! Alrighty, you guys, so after that breakfast, I think it's about time for us to go to the kitchen and let's go ahead and prepare for, well, actually what I do is prepare everything in bulk, and then I'll be able to portion out things that I'll be needing for a specific day. Alright, but let's go to the kitchen, prepare everything, and I'll show you what I usually eat, like just mix and match of what I eat in a day. Alright? Alrighty, you guys, so this is how simple my food gets in a day. You have a bit of source of protein, which is going to be this one. You have our fiber source and also our carb source. Now, here you have a cup of quinoa, and then you also have here a cup of mung bean or munggo, and then that is mixed with brown rice, that is brown basmati rice. And then here you have a big head of broccoli. And then for protein, you have chicken. This is chicken breast in strips. And then also a salmon fillet. Now, what is on top are not salt, they are ice because these just came from the freezer. And then for our flavoring, this is as simple as it gets. You have a bit of salt, garlic powder, ginger powder, you have pepper right here, and you have thyme. So for our chicken, we will only be doing salt, ginger powder, and pepper. And then for our fish, just to add a bit more flavor and to get rid of a bit of that fishy smell, you will be adding ginger powder and thyme. So let us go ahead and prepare everything, and then I'll see you later. Alright, so let's put everything to the side right here because we'll be preparing our protein, because I think this takes much time to prepare rather than the rest of the things. So we'll put everything to the side and then prepare our protein. Alright, so we put all these aside. We'll first tackle our protein. And for our protein, you have, of course, your salmon and then the chicken strips. And then you will have 2 separate containers for both of them. Alright. Now, I know these are frozen, and it would actually be a bit better. We'll wash them first. We'll wash everything first. It has been frozen, but I would like to wash them again before we go ahead and prepare everything here. Alright? So I'll just wash it and then I'll be back. Alright, so here you have already washed again. So here we'll be putting our salmon, and then here will be our chicken. So what we'll do with our salmon is, for me, I just would like to have a bit of oil under, just so it doesn't stick. But you know, it depends on you if you want to eat the skin or something. But for me, I don't really want to go through it with the skin. So we'll just spread that oil a little bit just for the salmon not to stick under, but you know, just to make it easier to remove. And if you will notice, I am using glass dishes basically because this goes from the oven, and then as soon as it gets cooled down, this goes directly to the refrigerator. Alright? So you have your salmon in. So with your salmon, let's do the salmon first right here. Alright, so let's keep it aside. You have your salmon right here. Let me keep chicken. Getting confused. Okay, so you have your salmon right here. What we'll do is we'll just put a bit of salt, and while you're doing this, you should be preheating your oven at, preheating mine at 250 Celsius preheat, and then as soon as it gets like 5 minutes, I'll be turning it down to 150, and then we'll be cooking this in 150 for 30 to 45 minutes, covered. Alright, so as you can see, I'll just pinch a bit of salt because you don't need to remove salt, you just need to minimize the salt that you are using in your food. So we'll put a pinch of salt right there. That is about enough, just to make it taste. And then we'll crack a bit of black pepper right here. Now, black pepper, you can be as generous as you want. Go ahead and douse it in pepper if you love the taste of pepper. But for me, because it's less salt, I would like to have more pepper. There you go. And then we'll add a bit of the garlic powder that you have here. Just dash it in. You just have to make sure that although your whole fillet is going to be coated or going to be flavored with the garlic and the other seasonings that we're putting, because you don't have much salt. There's not going to be much of the salty flavor. You'll be doing it with the garlic powder and the ginger powder that we'll be adding in a few. Alright, so I guess that is already it. Okay, so garlic in. You just need a bit of the ginger. Dash a bit of that ginger powder just to eliminate also that fishy, stinky smell that is, and also additional flavor to your fish. Alright, so that is a bit of the ginger powder. Okie dokie. And then last but not least, for our salmon, we'll be adding a tiny bit of, maybe say about a half a tablespoon of thyme, because thyme is a little bit lemony and citrusy, I think. I mean, for me it is. It's lemony and citrusy, so I wanted to put a bit of thyme onto your salmon. This is also to give it a bit of that lovely flavor. Now mind you, we'll be putting this in together with the chicken. So after we are done with this, we'll be putting it aside, and then we'll wait for our chicken to be dressed and finished as well. But that's just around half a tablespoon of your thyme. So this is ready. We'll just cover it in foil, and then we'll put it in the oven. But for now, we're still preheating the oven, so we'll put it aside and then we'll do our chicken. Alright, so for our chicken, it's very simple. You put your chicken in this container, and of course, I have washed my hands. We'll put a little bit of, just a tiny bit of olive oil, just to have all the flavoring stick onto your chicken. And then of course, a little pinch of salt, just to have everything balanced in flavor. Yes, we put a little bit of the salt. And then we are going to be very generous with our black pepper, because this is where we'll be getting much of our flavors. So that's a generous amount of freshly ground black pepper. And then last but not least is going to be our garlic powder, because this is the only flavoring that we'll get. So it's just going to be garlic. You'll just have a garlicky chicken. So we're just going to be mashing it with our hands together, and then cover it with foil, and then put it in the oven together with the salmon. Alright, so let us just go ahead and massage everything in before we put it in the oven, so everything gets that flavor. But that is basically just salt, a little bit of salt, and then pepper, and then garlic powder, and you also have, well, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So we'll put that in. We'll just make sure that everything is on the tray and there isn't much overlapping, just to have everything cooked out evenly. And then we'll put the foil on top of it and then put it in the oven. Alright, so we have both prepped in foil, ready to go to the oven. Just one little bit that I wanted to do is to poke a bit of holes, just to give it a bit of air to circulate. So it does become a bit steamy, but you'll have air that circulates in. We're just covering it so it's not going to be burnt inside. So we'll just poke a bit of holes. Alright, so we're ready to go to the oven. Alright, so next one is of course going to be our vegetables, which is our broccoli. What we'll do is we'll actually just be blanching that. So I just need to cut them up into bits of pieces. And then I'm already preparing, well, there's already a water that we're actually trying to come to a boil, and then we'll have everything blanched. So it's a basic blanch. We'll just put it in for maybe a few seconds and then we'll bring it out. So I'm just cutting off the florets because I will just be needing the florets. You just get out the florets from this. So while waiting for our water to boil for our broccoli, we will prepare our carbs, which is the mung bean and then the... Oops! Everything fell off the floor. So we'll prepare everything here. We'll wash this first, and then we'll get water as well to top it off with this to cook this. So here we have our grains washed. We will just need to add the 1 cup of quinoa. So that's a total of 3 cups of grains. We'll be putting in 4.5 cups, or actually, no. We'll be putting in 3.5 cups of water for our 3 cups of grains. And then we just need to mix it up a little bit just to have the water, because sometimes water doesn't go into some other part. So we'll just mix it up a little bit, and then to add a little bit of flavor, we'll be putting in a tiny bit of salt and garlic powder. All right. So our grains are already mixed up. Right there, as you can see, we'll put a tiny bit of salt, just a dash of salt right here, just to flavor it out, and then we'll dash it with a bit of garlic powder. All right, garlic powder in, and then our salt is in. We'll just put it in the rice cooker and let the rice cooker do its thing. So here is our grains getting cooked in the rice cooker. As you can see, still waiting for it. It's undercooked. So if you will notice, there's going to be small bubbles coming up because it's just starting to boil. So we'll wait for it to be ready, and also our protein is in the oven waiting to be done. All right. Here, water is now boiling. We'll just put a bit of salt onto your water to be able to blanch your broccoli, and then we'll put in our broccoli. We'll start putting in our broccoli here. Okay, and then we'll just leave it for a minute in the hot water, and then we'll drain it out. So after a minute, it is already done. It's already been blanched. The water has been drained. I will just leave it here to cool down, and then we will be waiting for the rest of our food to be ready. So after half an hour of being in the oven covered, it's gonna look like that. So I just removed the cover, and then we're putting it back in for maybe 10 to 15 more minutes just to have a bit of color onto our protein. So this is the chicken. As you can see, it's bubbling away. And then the salmon is the one here on top. So we'll just need around 10-15 minutes and then it's gonna be ready. Alrighty, so our grains are already cooked. There you go. As you can see, it is already, let me just get a, because it's hot. So this is how it looks like when it gets cooked. Oh. There. So it's a mix of the munggo, and then you have the quinoa, and then you have the brown rice. So now what we'll do is we're going to transfer this to a container, because this is what we're going to be using to keep it in the refrigerator. Because this one has a cover. This one has a cover. So we'll put everything in, and then also to have it cool down. So we'll put everything in this container and have it cool down and then have it in the refrigerator. So you can see it is still smoking hot. Alright, so we already transferred that. We'll let it cool down and then we'll put it in the refrigerator later. And aside from that, our chicken and fish is already ready. Let me just get that from the oven. Here is our, well, it's not burnt or anything, but here is our fish. As you can see, the sides are pretty much caramelized and all that, but the fish is perfectly cooked. And then your chicken is also beautifully done right here. As you can see, beautiful chicken. So we will just let these cool down, and then I'll show you later on how I actually prepare, or I actually measure out everything as I eat. Oh, let me just get the broccoli right here. I've shown you a while ago that our broccoli has been blanched and has been cooling down. So this is basically what I eat in a day. It just, I just need to put a little bit of variation in them. Alrighty, so basically this is a staple of what I eat in a day. These two are, let's say, yeah, staple it is, because whether lunch or dinner, these two doesn't change. I just wanted to interchange with the salmon and the chicken. So for the purpose of this video, I'll do it with the chicken because it's easier, because it's already sliced and all that. Whereas the salmon, I have to like cut them up and all that. But everything goes down to this. This is our weighing scale, if I get it to work. Okay, there it is. So it's now at 0. So what we'll do is, if I go to work, I put it in a container. I have containers like this that has lids. So I'll put it on top first, because you will see the weight of the container. As soon as you have the weight of the container, you'll see that here, and then you press this. So it goes down to 0. Automatic. And if you lift this one up, you will see that it goes negative, because that is the weight of the container. See, it goes back down to 0. Now, with carbs, we are only given 100 grams of carbs. So we will be measuring that out. 100 grams of that carbs. My gosh. That is 40. We measure that out. Okay, 70, 69. Okay, and then 89, a little bit more. 102. We have to remove a little bit if we are really that strict. 99, add a bit more, make it 100. There. So that is 100, and then we also do, I'll just use my fingers, 100 grams of the chicken. See, that's already 152. And then that. And then get a bit more, a little piece more. 70 something. Okay, almost there. 190. 207, let's remove a little bit. 195, 96. Let's put a tiny bit more. 98. 2 more grams. Come on, let's do this. 202. No. Let's cut half of that. Okay, that is 200. And then we do 50 grams of our broccoli. So that is, as you can see, 200, 201. You have to remove a bit piece. Okay. So that's 201. Okay, so let's just leave it. 201, 200 is, I think, okay. 1 gram would not, I mean, I'm not training for athlete or whatever. So 1 gram is not that much of an excess. So we'll do 50 grams of your 50 grams of fiber, which is that. So we have 201, so it should be 251. Let's ready 42, 56, what? 42. We'll just add a bit more. 51, perfect. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, what I eat in a day. If I go to work, I bring this. I just switch it out with either chicken or the salmon. So this is basically what I eat in a day. Look at that comparison. My hand can even cover the whole thing. That is just how much I eat. Here at home, it's the same concept. If I'm at home, it's the same concept. I actually just use, let's throw that away. I actually just use the plate at home, but it's the same concept. Let's bring it down to 0 again. And then we will put in the plate. And that is the weight. You lock in the weight of the plate. And then you remove it. It goes the same way. So it's going to be the same thing. When you put it back, it's going to be back to 0. And then I measure out the same components. 100 grams of the carbs, 100 grams of the protein, and 50 grams of our fiber. So basically, that is what I eat in a day.